Call of Duty games. As you might have noticed, I always have a bit of a love-hate relationship with them. On one hand, they have nice first-person shooter single-player campaigns that should be really in my ballpark. On the other hand, they are often made with multiplayer in mind, and the military theme is quite lame, in my opinion. One Call of Duty game that I skipped, but I heard great things about, was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. It got recently remastered, so I thought, let's give it a try. Modern Warfare 2 is the second part of the 3 Modern Warfare titles that took Call of Duty out of the Second World War theme and into the modern times. That's why it's called Modern Warfare. Still, the weapon and themes are not necessarily realistic. This change and a very robust online multiplayer made the Call of Duty games the household name it is now. This recent remaster only focuses on the single player, most probably so it doesn't take the focus away from the newest Call of Duty game, also called Modern Warfare. When the original game came out, it included an online multiplayer and also a co-op mode. None of these are included in the remaster, so I'm not going to talk about them. I never played them, so yeah, no opinion about them. Now we have this out of the way. What's the story of Modern Warfare 2 Remastered? Well, just like in the original Modern Warfare, you do not play one person, but you play several army personnel. Almost every mission you change main character, and all of them have their own role to play in a big overarching story. This big story can be summarized in one sentence. Russia fakes an American terrorist attack in Moscow and uses this to invade the USA, which you have to make sure it fails. The missions that you play are all key events that happened in this imaginary war. You see the build-up, the major operations and the turning point of the invasion. This all takes place right after the previous game, so this game is a direct sequel. But you really do not have to have played Call of Duty 4 to understand the plot. The good thing about the structure of playing several characters is that you play a different specialist every time. Sometimes a sniper, a stealthy ranger, or maybe just a rookie who has to learn the ropes. It's all in this game and it doesn't feel out of place. A lot of different gameplay. There are many set pieces as well, and you can drive different type of vehicles during the game. Most of the game is just like any other first-person shooter though. You get a loadout in the beginning of the level that should be enough to finish the mission, though you can always pick up the guns from fallen enemies. Here and there you get a hold of modern weapons like a drone or bigger guns like Stinger missiles, but most of the time the guns are what you would expect. Assault rifles, shotguns, pistols, SMGs, etc. To come to the point, Modern Warfare 2 Remastered looks absolutely gorgeous. This is where all the remastering efforts went to. The original game was already quite a good looking game, but the remaster made the set pieces stand out even more. It doesn't look as good as maybe some other games that came out this year, but for example it looks much nicer than Call of Duty World War II, which I think is an achievement. On the other hand, it seems that this is the only thing that has changed. Later more about this. The music and the sounds are the same. About the music I can be brief. It is the epic type of music that you probably can expect with these kind of games. I'm not a fan, but yeah, well, it is what it is. The sound effects and the voices are done very well. I can say that I like the way that the guns sound, the actors did what they could with the lines that they got, and the background noises sound convincing. The things that they are saying though, yeah, this might be just of a pet peeve of mine, but the militarized talk is annoying me so much. Things like saying Oscar Mike instead of on the move. It seems so pointless to me. It's even the same amount of syllables. I know I'm supposed to be a military dude, but in this game it is so unrealistic that the whole slang is just confusing. And that brings me to the good and the bad points of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. Let's start with the good points. As I said before, the game is really pretty. Gorgeous landscapes, snowstorms, suburban neighborhoods, it has it all. And this is in my opinion a big plus, because the pace of the game is exactly right. There are vistas where the game slows down and you have a time to look around. You can just stay a few seconds and enjoy the view. This is great. One of the things that annoyed me the most about the first Modern Warfare that was remastered was the old-fashioned gameplay. The game did not start a cutscene unless you stepped inside a vehicle or opened a door, basically until you pressed a button. This game takes charge when you reach a certain point, which makes the flow of the game much better. The last point I wanted to make is that this game has collectibles. This, together with different difficulty settings, makes the replay value quite okay, even when it is cut just to the single player campaign. Actually, I just bought an old strategy guide to find all the collectibles and play the game as the developers intended. And this is needed. Sometimes you think you have much freedom to approach a situation, but you never really have. You can only have one approach. This is maybe the worst thing about this game, especially because you have to always work in a team. I will explain. There are several stages in which you have quite a big area. You and your team on one side, the enemy on the other side. In these cases, I like to flank the enemy, but in this game you can't. Even if you just take a little detour, you get killed. The best way is to just follow your teammates and do as you were told. Very boring and not very realistic. This game limits you, and in more ways than one. In one of the first missions, you have to shoot grenades to an incoming Humvee on a broken bridge. The best way to do it is to go up on the other side of the bridge, because that way you have the best overview. But instead the game wants you to stay under the bridge, and blocks the way up by putting some of your teammates on the way up. It was so confusing, this was so beyond logic for me, that I got stuck here for a while. Maybe the best example how much this game holds your hand is the last mission of the game. You approach an enemy base with a colleague who gives you orders what to do. Take the left one, I'll take the right one. That kind of stuff. He actually even decided to take most of the enemies on his own when there's just one. And this is the last mission. So on the last mission, you still have the feeling you're playing a tutorial. I don't like that. I don't like that this game takes your freedom away. I was also very disappointed in the story. Earlier I said that the device of not using a single main character has its upsides. That you can play with different styles of gameplay. Sniper, special forces, stealth, it's all in here. But the way it is implemented is not done well at all. You don't really get to know your characters, other than their role in the military. It doesn't help that the story is very much fabricated. It seems like military propaganda at some points. It's not clever, not fun, and it's definitely not told in a nice way. If there was thrown some humor in there, it would have saved the story. But this story takes itself so seriously, no. In the end, I just didn't care. I was curious about the next level. I mean, where I would fight next, what new guns I would get, but I certainly didn't care about the story, not even when there was a twist. Yeah, sure, I wanted my character to stay alive, but the dramatic last scene didn't feel significant to me at all. You do not kill the last bad guy. I mean, there is a part 3 after all. I must say, I did have fun with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. The shooting feels good and the set pieces are great. Unfortunately, the whole experience is held back by a weak story and a lack of interactivity. For me personally, this is one of the weakest Call of Duty games I played. But I can recommend this game if you just want to shoot stuff in pretty environments and do not care the reason why you are shooting stuff. So, this was my review of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. Yeah, I was a bit disappointed in this game. It was like me and the game were not on the same wavelength, you know? Yeah. And I must apologize that it took me so long to do this, but well, I got a bit sick. I didn't have COVID, I think, but still, I didn't have a voice, so, well, then I cannot speak, right? Yeah, let me know what you thought about it. What you thought about, not about the review, what you thought about the game. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people played it, at least the original version. And do you feel like revisiting it again? What do you think of the remaster? Let me know, I'm pretty curious. And yeah, like and subscribe and stuff like that. And have a nice day. Bye bye.